What's going on, New Gaming Order? We're coming at you with the final segment of the night. Those of you who saw or joining us on the last segment, they just completely degraded from what the intended direction was. But please pardon that. But with that,
What degrade? Just win that ass. That's all.
what the heck? Unbelievable.
It was just a beat
We just went in.
It was like that movie How High. Get 'em.
Right. All right. But New Gaming Order. The next topic in the shoot, the Street Fighter 5. You know, we already spoke and made our points on the censorship and what happened with R-Mika, Cammy, and what have you. But you know, ordinarily PC games are, you know, their selling points for me anyway is the ability to mod them and customize and do things to them, right? Apparently, it's come to my attention that Ono, and hopefully I was reading that right, or I comprehended it correctly, that they're gonna make Street Fighter 5 harder to mod, the PC version. And I'm like, why? And the first thing that popped into my head, I said, okay, well, they changed the camera angle. Just in time, the PC people are going to fix it. Okay? If the game is already in our hands, right? Why won't they, you know, here's my thing. They already did the beta and did an Evil Ryu mod. They did the mod for R-Mika where you can play as their tag team partner. A couple other things, you know. I don't think it's a big deal, because not everybody has the means to do it. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Demizzle the floor, and you know, I think it was bad to censor it anyway, because to me there was nothing to censor. It's just the game, you know what I mean? Like, I think people made too much of it. Same thing like with the white voice actress, Laura Bailey, for the character in Uncharted, playing a black character. Too sensitive, but locking out the ability to mod is bad. I think that's not cool. But Demizzle, what are your thoughts? Free play mode. What are your thoughts on this?
First thing I'm gonna do is begin this segment with the fakest fake laugh that you've ever heard.
Wow.
Okay.
Second thing I'm gonna say is, good luck with that. Seriously, like, modders are more talented than these Phantom Squad fucks.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it takes actual skill to decompile a game and find out where you can mod it. Then go into a graphical design program such as Illustrator, 3D Studio Max, Photoshop, and create outfits that actually fit with the character models of these games, then reinsert them back into the game. That takes actual skill, Phantom Squad. Learn from actual game modders, but good luck with that, Ono. Good luck with that.
Yeah, because I'm looking, they're like, I hardly doubt that Capcom will be able to close the door on the PC modding community for all that long. I mean, they're gonna find ways. Look at what they did with the beta. You know, it was just a matter of time where they're just like, they infinitely opened it. So, it remains to be seen. But you know, having control. Well, it's like you buy a car and they're like, you can't put a turbo in there, you can't change the rims, you can't do this. They can't dictate that to us. Once we own it, you know. And I know they got the end user license and all that nonsense, but once it's on my system and you don't have access to it anymore, you can't tell me what to do with my stuff. And I have a problem with that, you know. You know what? It is what it is. So, Demizzle, did that conclude your point?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, with that, Playboy, Mr. PC Master Race, how would you feel if you had your PC games and you weren't allowed to mod them? Or, you know, the companies, once you own the game and you do your stuff with it, like, you know, what are your thoughts?
I wouldn't support that company no more in the future. So, you know, easy as that. You know, I mean, it's your property. I mean, it's your IP. Yeah, sure. You don't want it to mod. So when your next AAA game come out, who will not be getting my money? Moving right along.
Okay.
See, I keep it simple.
Yeah. You know, older folks have to do that. You know, I'm just saying. Oh. All right, I was just messing with you. Takuma, your thoughts on Capcom and Ono considering making it a little more difficult for PC folks to mod. Also, before you go, if you're watching those in the stream, there was something in here talking about, I guess it's time for me to be offended that, and trigger now, where you got Zangief doing that thing where he's, pretty much cock pumping somebody with one of his. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know. I'm just saying, Zangief has a skill where he's just out there, like, sticking his chest out, and you got the bulge out there. It could be subjective. You know what I mean? How come they don't censor that, or change Zangief's attire, like half naked, walking out there with boots and speedos on, or tight underwear? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
You know what, Alex, stop right now, Alex.
I'm just saying. People want to be offended.
Alex, I could be real trolly right now.
I'm just saying. But go ahead, Takuma. What are your thoughts on Capcom considering making things more difficult?
I want to see how they gonna do it there without breaking any privacy laws or try to go into other people's special accounts, whatever it's not, and try to fix that. I guess are they gonna put out some type of patch or something like that before it actually gets released on PC where you can't mod it? Is there gonna be some type of special code? I'm curious to see how they actually gonna do that, because
I don't think any game is unmoddable on PC.
Once it's released until the system and everything else whatnot, if there's no direct feed from their server, then you can't do it. You can't stop modding. Now, now people who wanna, I understand why they probably did it, because, when they modded, all Street Fighter 4 and everything else and whatnot, people have these outlandish outfits and everything else and whatnot, and characters and everything else and whatnot versus other characters, and then, females out here with damn near without their own bikinis on. I understand that, if people got some type of niche to do that, then some of the people who actually modding just to get girls to show off certain body parts, y'all need girlfriends.
Well, yeah, you got some people
doing their jobs or something like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got some who are irresponsible.
Keep it real.
Yeah, a lot of them. You had them doing nude mods and stuff. I saw the Sakura nude mod and Chun-Li nude.
I'm if you need to get your fix and somebody, you tell your girlfriend or your wife, hey, babe, you think you can pull this Chun-Li outfit one night when you come home or something like that? I'm just saying,
Is that? Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Takuma, is that what you be doing?
Well, a couple of years ago.
Hold on, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I had this one girl dressed up as
Let's not indulge in his life right now. Let's not indulge in that life right now.
But yeah, but like I'm saying, I'm actually curious on how he's going to perform this task of making it harder for people to not mod Street Fighter 5. I'm curious. Good luck. I mean, hey, if you do it, all means, good luck.
This is the only time I would actually condone the hackers to do something constructive. Like Demizo said, Phantom Squad should change their direction and focus, and lend their efforts and talents there. But Goken, what are your thoughts on companies trying to block personal modifications? Because the funny thing, all my Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4 mods can only be seen on my system. I can't put them out for somebody else. It's a local thing. But your thoughts, Goken?
It's up to them. It's their property. It's their IP. If they don't want people to modify their content, they don't want it. I mean, there's plenty of ways of doing it, but I don't know if it's worth it. But it's not really if it only affects my, visuals of what I'm playing, then I guess it's fine. But again, it's up to them. Who cares? Whatever decision they make is their decision. So.
Okay.
It's their it's their characters, it's their IP. It's their interface, it's everything. So even if you super customize a character, change moves, and do stupid shit like that, then it's outside of the realm of the agreement of them making the game and you buying the game.
Yeah.
So that's my view on it. It is what it is. We don't have a right to be able to modify the game.
Okay, fair enough. And last, Nelson, what are your thoughts on Ono considering blocking the PC mods and undoing the censorship that's going into Street Fighter 5?
Well, let's put it into this aspect. Are you censoring only so that your content won't be shown like as an entirety, or are you trying to censor it to the point where people won't see it online? Because I can understand, like, if you're trying to have people stream and they're doing rank matches, like, you know, Puerto Rican Balrog or Justin Wong or Level Up Live series with Alex Valle and stuff like that. I can understand that, but you also have to understand, like, with certain particular games, like I'll use Skyrim as an example. For people to sit there and mod the game to the point where they can make the textures even better than what the original designer had intended, and take the time to make the game run smoother, it will bring more consumers to buy your product, to have a supposed sandbox version of what they initially want in their game. So in a sense, it will create relatively dream matches, though that the characters' moves won't necessarily change. It will bring a more of a nostalgia feel. Like, let's say, for an example, Capcom never released a costume pack for this game. Let's just say. And we have those modders that will sit there and make classic costumes, alpha versions of it, or even tinker around with particular stages that may, you know, bring a wow effect to, you know, these consumers. So in a sense, I think modding won't really hurt the game because it's only cosmetic. It's not like you're destroying the game and redistributing it like some other people who pirate the game. That's different. They're not pirating the game. They're just cosmetically changing of how the characters look like and, you know, featuring their stuff. If that was the case, you would have stopped it all the way on the Street Fighter 4, but you guys didn't. You kind of praised it. So I don't know why the sudden change.
You know what? On a final note with that, you know, instead of censoring the game, could they have made it where the console, if the parents should have control over what versions or what angles they can see and things like that, instead of, like, you know, would that have been a better approach?
I mean, if you look at it in that point, it would have been better if there was like a censorship like they do with Call of Duty, where they said this scenes in certain games contain, like, you know, gore, blood, violence, you know, language and whatnot. They could have just had an instant yes or no censor button and they would have been done and dealt with. But the only reason why that they're going this route now of not showing like big butts or big booties or certain camera angle shots that look very like sexual
to
sales
people.
It's because of the fact that they think that the new consumer is going to be hurt by this, when actually you're just hurting yourselves, because now your organic game that you sat there and made from the ground up has went to a full 360 because of several different points of views by a company, or I should say a social media group that has no knowledge of designing within a video game. By all means, if you're gonna make your game, make it the way how you want to make it. And now, because of that fuck up, you have what is it, Senra Kagura, which is like the nudity / like fighting Dynasty Warriors kind of game. They're gonna be like, all right, buy our product. We're not gonna censor our game. We're not gonna let no one tell us what the fuck to do. And you're gonna get all these companies out.
When is that game coming out?
In sales, sometime next year.
Okay, I got pre-order that.
Sometime next year.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's more or less like the thing with the DOA thing, how there's like, oh, we're gonna censor it for the West. And again, the same people who made Senra Kagura, I can't remember the company's name, but they said, don't worry, you can buy our content. We got you guys covered.
But you know what? That's going to be now a new marketing campaign. Like, oh yeah, if you want adult material stuff or whatever,
but it's not,
they're just making a big deal out of nothing, you know?
It's not, alright, first off, it's not adult material to be censoring, oh, she has a huge ass. That's okay. Goken already has stressed this issue.
On the last podcast.
Why are you trying to make it so that you have these weird yet society portrayed figures that we have to live by standard? There's no such thing as the perfect body that you should live by. Everyone comes in all different shapes of sizes. And I'm sorry to say this, but you guys never thought of this route until just recently. So I don't know what made you superly change your mind on that, but
They heard
I think
me.
it's
They heard me, brother. They heard me.
well, they heard you in several dumb, stupid social groups that fucked up everything for us in the future. But
You know what? I want to say something. You know what? Y'all gonna think I'm a perv for saying this, but the people who are mad at the R-Mika butt slap probably are females that were hating because whoever was the mocap, whoever the mocap was for R-Mika, bro.
but the thing is, it's like, again, if you're gonna
They just mad.
if you're gonna
got no ass.
if you're gonna censor something which is not real, first off, it's real in the aspect that it's portraying like human beings. But one, we was all born naked. We all have sex to make kids, right? I assume you have to have your clothes off to have sex.
Unless if Senpai's
you live by
watching.
a certain religion. Unless if you live by a certain religion where you can't
Unless
have
you're
sex.
Mormons, you gotta have sex through that magic underwear, son.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, if this is portrayed by everyday life where we have porn of an easy as a click of a button to any age group now, because you really can't censor the internet fully, like Donald Trump is trying to do.
Well, Sarkeesian wants to censor the internet. Remember?
But again, it doesn't matter because everyone who's trying to sit there and defend like, oh, you shouldn't treat women like this, you shouldn't show them in a sexual way and stuff like that, I guarantee those same fucking people have boyfriends or husbands that wish they had the same fucking treatment that everyone is staring at them and wish they was being loved and all that shit. Don't be a fucking shame. Do not be a fucking shame and then lash out to society because you're not getting what the hell you're getting at home.
Well, hey.
Go ahead.
Show them
Go
titties.
ahead.
I'm sorry,
But
that's the way how I see it.
All right. With that being said, in general, I don't agree with PC folks being locked out of doing creative expression. Like,
They're not going to.
if you go to the website that has all the Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken PC mods. I'm gonna put the link in the description for this. I endorse that because it's fun. Like, it's creative. Like, DeviantArt has a lot of skins on there. Like, I remember they started doing like Evil Ryu skin mods and all that other stuff. I thought that was fun. It's fun. It makes your game unique to you, right? And it's not hurting nobody. The people aren't profiting off of this. Why should it matter? Why should it matter?
in a sense, how you just said that, they're kind of losing their profit because now their actual character model that they sat there to work on is not being used anymore to be marketed. It's more or less now you're putting.
They made the money off the sale of the game. You know what I
Right,
mean?
but in a sense, the way how you put it is like, now I think about it and look back at it, is like they're not making no profit off the actual like trademark character that they're supposed to be showing off in the actual game. If
They are, because when you buy the game, they already made their money. They already made their money.
He's talking about long-term costs. Look,
Long term.
I take Balrog, then I create this crazy costume, and that's the only thing people want to use is my custom mod for Balrog, and I put out toys and posters and stuff like that, and no one buys that shit. They're like, yeah, that Balrog's not cool.
But most of the mods don't really get that popular, except for the Tyrone Biggums. Somebody turned Balrog into Tyrone Biggums from the Dave Chappelle show. Right?
But
I think what Nelson's trying to say is that there is. You're saying that they're not losing anything from it, but essentially they are. If your mod ends up being something that people favor looking at,
If it goes viral or something, you're saying.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like with Street Fighter 4, now let me tell you something. With Maximilian and a couple other streamers that I can't remember off the top of my head, they prefer using the mods over the actual character model while they're playing the game because they feel that the graphics or how the character looked was disgusting. So they would rather sit there and use mods, despite the fact that it looks a little shitty or whatever. They'll prefer it because it's like, dude, I can play the classic Ken from like back in the day, or I could play as like some weird fucking character, like let's say I could play with Darth Vader as the Kuma, or I could fucking
like
as
Bison.
Bowser.
Yeah, somebody did that Yeah,
Right.
I know what you're saying,
You
but
see what I'm saying? So, like, in the long aspects of it, if I'm a company and I made 12 characters and I rendered them out and I put them out for the market, yeah, I'm gonna make the initial sell because of the name Street Fighter 5. But in the long term, if I'm seeing streams, YouTubes, Twitters, Instagrams of different pictures of different character models that are not mine that I made, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is everyone using all this shit? And then my character's not gonna be known anymore. My models won't make the money that they should. They're gonna start paying these modders to invest in, keep going with their
no,
shit,
but
and then
I know it's an agreement where the modders should not be taking money to mod like
right, but
licensed
people do
games.
that. People will do that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's going to happen.
And you know what sucks?
Street Fighter 4.
Really?
It
People
happened with Street
were getting paid to mod.
Yes.
You see, that's
Yes.
bullshit. That's bullshit, man. They
It's
gotta
not
mess up.
bullshit.
They messing up a good thing. You know what I mean? But with that being said, with the video gaming industry so sensitive, it's just, you know what? I don't even want to talk about this anymore. New Gaming Order. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on newgamingorder.com for the latest and greatest gaming news. And I'm hitting the wrong button thingy. I want to thank everybody for who joined us in the chat. I want to thank Takuma and Nelson for and Demizzle for doing the roast. It's all love, and if we don't have thick skin, then people shouldn't be watching the show. All right. I want to also mention that those of you watching the director's cut, I'll give you all the instructions on how to acquire that code. And I should have made a disclaimer where if you are part of this podcast or whatever, like, how the sweepstakes go, if you're like an employee or whatnot, you're disqualified from it. But that being
What? No, they already won. Yeah, no chance.
unbelievable.
He already won. He has 2 codes, so.
Yeah, so with that being said, guys, thank you so much.
Oh, wait. No, Shinraven said that he also has codes to give to you if you need them. Right?
Oh, to do
Brother
the
up, man.
well, you know what, Shin Raven, can we give one to Demizzle for his birthday and maybe,
I don't think a new computer is strong enough to do it.
Dude,
so
my
I
computer is
recommend it.
very strong.
No, I'm
son.
talking about Noop. I'm talking about Noop, not yours.
Dang.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, outside of the giveaway, are there any more codes?
Well, I already gave one away. I got one more left.
Listen. I'll put my thing up now since Alex already put his. I said it in the previous thing that I was a part on. Before the game comes out, about maybe 4 to 5 days before the game comes out, I'm gonna be having a tournament where you guys can enter to win either a copy of your choice on the PlayStation 4 or on the PC. You can win it like that.
I am
Playing the beta.
entering.
So I'll have more.
So I'm
details
gonna
on
be
that.
helping Nelson host that thing. So
Yeah, so I'll have more details as it gets closer to the release.
all right. So for our YouTube people, we're going offline next week. We're gonna be preempted because of New Year's Eve, but we will show up on Saturday at it's to be determined. I'm looking at 10 a.m. and we'll do our initial podcast. It might be a shorter one since it's on a new day. Not like the WWE new day because I hate them.
New day, new day rocks. New day
Hey,
rocks.
I actually saw them a few days ago online when I was watching. I think I was watching AFN when I was in Afghanistan. I was like, what? I saw them. They coming down there cooning and shooting and diving. I'm like, what is this?
Yup, they cooned, yo.
I'm like, what is this?
Doesn't-
They just like,
Doesn't Noop look like Big E Langston?
what the fuck, man?
But YouTube people, we'll see you guys next week on Saturday. Peace.
Okay.